Greetings, my reptilian brethren. I have decided to shed my skin and grow myself anew. Check this out, guys. That looks like a thumbnail right there. Whoa. I will be using sunscreen next time I go out, I promise, okay? But my sunburn actually feels way better than it has in several days, so it's finally not painful anymore after like 3 or 4 days of it. So, very, very happy about that. Even though it looks pretty disgusting, like I actually feel much better now. So, my sunburn is actually doing much better. I will wear sunscreen next time. I'm kind of surprised it got this bad because I was only out there for a little while and it was very cloudy that day. So I'm still pretty surprised it got as bad as this. But I'm trying to, tan my torso a little bit, which hasn't seen the sun in quite some years. So it's an uphill battle, but I will work on it. But anyways, Fat to Fit Day 254. It's a little bit late, so I'm trying to keep my voice down a little bit. Unfortunately, today was a really bad day, guys. It was a really bad day. I had quite a lot of junk food today. Okay, I was too ashamed to write a zero up here, but I had a lot of junk food today. As you guys know, I'm trying to do the thing where I'm doing 1,500 calories a day, and then if I go over that, then I try to make up those calories the next day. I have like a debt system going, so it's like if I have 1,600 calories, then the next day I'm aiming for 1,400. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And after today, I'm gonna have a pretty astronomical amount of caloric debt because I ate a lot of crap today. The reason for that is I think I didn't exercise. I've been exercising really, really hard the last like entire week. It's been going really well, but as I've found going over this diet, like whenever I have a day where I don't exercise, when I'm doing it consistently, especially, it's very, very hard not to cheat on my diet on those days. So I'm thinking I might start running like a token mile or two any day that I'm not lifting weights just to try and stave off the urges to eat a bunch of crap. Another thing is that I didn't really have very much healthy food in the house, so I think that kind of screwed me over as well. Tomorrow I'm probably going to make some chicken and have that in there. That'll help a lot. So yeah, but I have a lot of caloric debt I'm going to have to make up after today. I had like 5,300 calories of food today, which is a lot. Obviously, that's way too much. Luckily, I did actually weigh every single thing I ate today, so at least that's a W. I actually know exactly how much I had, so it could have been worse, obviously. At least I'm not just guessing like I have many times in the past. But 5,300 calories is a pretty big L. Okay, guys, we're speaking in terms of W and L now on this channel. That's a thing, but that's really bad. So my thinking is this: I really want to do 1,500 calories a day on average. If I don't make up some of this caloric debt, which is like 3,900 calories, if I don't make up at least most of that in the next week, I'm just gonna raise the limit to 2,000 calories a day, and then just forgive all my caloric debt. Okay, guys, we're speaking in financial terms these days, but I don't want to do this cycle that I've been doing so much in the last few months of where like heavy restriction, several binge days, and then just keep repeating that cycle. We've done that way too much. If I can't handle this, then I can't handle it and I'll up it, but I really want one more try to pay off all this little caloric debt and then, still keep the 1,500 calorie a day going. Like I said, if I can't accomplish that, then I will raise it up to 2,000. I don't want to do this all the time. I'm trying to learn from my mistakes, but I'm a little bit slow in the mind, so it takes time. Okay, so even though today was a bad day, it happens. I've had bad days before. I'll get through it. My head is still very much in the game, though. I weighed in this morning at 178.8 pounds. I had 8.5 hours of sleep. I had 10 grams of creatine. I had no exercise today, obviously, as I said. I had 5,320 calories of food today, 179 grams of protein. Day zero of the streak of me not having junk food, unfortunately. I had a ton of chips today. That's mainly what did it is I had a bunch of chips because like I didn't really find anything appetizing. And I was like, okay, I had like some chips and I was like, okay, the seal is broken. I'll have some more chips, and then I was like, okay, I'll have more chips, but I won't go over my, calorie limit. Went off, had a day, came back hours later, starving, instantly started eating a ton of food, and I ate pretty much the rest of all these calories in the span of like an hour and a half. So pretty crazy binge session. I'm gonna go through everything I had though. I had 320 calories of bread with 15 grams of protein. I had a protein shake, 120 calories, 24 grams of protein. Cottage cheese, 160 calories, 24 grams of protein. I had some shrimp, 180 calories, 20 grams of protein. I had some chili, 430 calories, 40 grams of protein. I had a leftover slice of frozen pizza that was just in there for I don't even know how long. That was 150 calories, 6 grams of protein. I had a ton of chocolate, 1,100 calories with 90 grams of, 1,190 calories, 13 grams of quality chocolate chip protein. I had a ton of chips. That's the main bad thing I had today. all kinds of really good chip flavors in there. Trust me, they've been really bugging me for the last few days, and I gave in today, unfortunately. That was 1,750 calories worth of chips, which is way too much. 21 grams of quality chip protein, so at least I got my good chip nutrition in, okay? And then I had a bunch of cookies, including, of course, you guessed it, Fig Newtons. So we had the unholy trinity: chips, chocolate chips, Fig Newtons. All three of them were today, okay, unfortunately. Cookies were 830 calories, 10 grams of protein. And then I had half a bagel, just because I wanted to be healthy for 190 calories, 6 grams of protein. So all in all today, I had 5,300, yeah, and 20 calories of food with 179 grams of protein. Day zero of the streak of me not cheating on my diet, I have a caloric deficit of 3,875 calories. Like I said, if I have 500 calories over the next 4 days, a day, I mean, that'll pay that off. I don't know how realistic that is. I'm going to try. I've done more than that before, but still, like I said, I don't want to keep teetering between two extremes of me, not eating for several days and then eating like 5,000 calories in a day like I did today. That's obviously not a good thing. Another reason I think today was such a failure is because for like a week, I was cheating on my diet like a week ago. So instantly getting back into my diet as hard as I did, I was pretty strict for like the last week. It really made me crave the junk food more. So maybe we're just, going through the pains of getting back into the habit of, eating healthy and not cheating on my diet. I really want to get down to 161.8 pounds in the near future, though, as I always say. But yeah, so tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to run like 1 or 2 miles a day, probably starting tomorrow. Tomorrow is another, rest day from lifting weights. We were lifting weights really hard this week. I'm very happy with that. I think I'm definitely building some muscle because I've been putting some serious effort in. My lifts have been going up, so that's really good. But today was just a huge flop in general. I also had some little stresses going on as well, so that contributed to it. Just a perfect storm, a cacophony of failure was today. Okay, it wasn't a good thing, but like I said, we'll get through it. I've had worse days, so as long as this doesn't turn into a trend, like one day can only do so much damage. So I think we'll be good. As for my media consumption, the segment that everyone loves, okay, what have I been reading? What have I been watching? What I've been playing? Okay, I've been playing Battlefront 2 as always. I watched Superman, Man of Tomorrow. It was okay. I liked Lobo in it. I've never seen him depicted, so kind of cool to see him, I guess. Other than that, I found the movie kind of boring. But the main thing is I've been listening to a bunch of lore videos on Warhammer 40K, which I know nothing about until now. I'm watching all these lore videos on it, on the Emperor of Man and his golden throne and all this cool stuff, learning all this lore about the Space Marines and all this cool stuff I've never really known anything about. So I might be getting into Warhammer 40K lores coming up here, I definitely like lore universes, so that's cool. We'll see if that pans out. I don't know. But I don't think I'm gonna like read any books or paint any figures or whatever. I'm not into painting, and I'm illiterate, so I actually can't read. So thank you all for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Your mother is so fat that when she walked out to the pier, people tried to board her. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 255. Hopefully, I only have 500 calories tomorrow. That's the goal. Hopefully, I run like a mile or two. That's the goal. Those are my two goals tomorrow. I will see. Oh, and I almost totally forgot. I'm trying to quit soda. So I have been drinking so much soda. Sometimes I'd be drinking like 6 or 7 cans of diet Mountain Dew a day, which is an insane amount of caffeine. I'm trying to quit that stuff. I've been lowering it over like the last week or two. Today I only had 2 sodas, which hasn't happened in a long time. Tomorrow I'm gonna have one, and then I'll have one after that, and I think I'm gonna cut it after that. So we're gonna start doing one a day starting tomorrow. See how long we do that, and then just completely cut it out. That's a huge deal. I meant to mention that at the beginning of this video. Sorry. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.